Let us discuss on probability as our first lecture. Probability is the occurrence of random event. Just probability is the existence or the happening of any random event. The value is expressed from 0 to 1. This means simply the range of probability is just from 0 to 1, not more than 1, not less than 0. If the probability value becomes 1, then that probability is certain or 100% sure. What if it is 0? If it is 0, then that is impossible. That will never likely to happen. For example, in the case of rolling of die, what is the probability of getting 7 in rolling of a die? First of all, in a rolling die, the set of sample space are 1 up to 6, so getting 7 is impossible. So the value will be 0 because there is no any event which matches with 7 under the case of rolling a die. The next thing, it predicts how likely events are to happen. Probability just predicts how are gonna things to happen. The meaning of probability is basically the extent to which something is gonna to happen. Let us discuss on terminologies on probability. Random experiment, outcome, sample space, events are under the terminologies of probability. What's random experiment? It is any happening whose result is uncertain. First of all, the result of random experiment is unknown, so it is any action or any happening in probability. Any moment, for example, as I told you before, tossing of a coin just is an action, or in other words, it's random experiment. So the next thing, outcomes. The possible result of the experiment is called outcomes. There are lots of results in the case of random experiment or in the case of probability. So the results are called outcomes. The other thing is sample space. Sample space is the set of all possible outcomes of an experiment. For example, in the rolling of a die, the set of all outcomes or the possible set of all outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is sample space in rolling of a die. The last one, events. An event is any subset of sample space. For example, in the rolling of die 1, 3, 5, set of all numbers are the subset of the sample space for rolling a die. So, such is an event. The next thing, probability of an event. Generally, probability of an event is described as probability of an event is number of events divided by number of sample space. We have discussed about an event sample space, so probability of event is the number of events, total number of events divided by the total number of sample space. Let us look at some rules on probability of union and intersection. Probability of union or probability of event 1 union event 2 is probability of event 1 plus probability of event 2 minus probability of event 1 intersection event 2. This is when event 1 and event 2 have intersections or common elements. But if event 1 intersection with event 2 becomes 0, or else if event 1 and event 2 have not a common element, then the probability becomes just the sum of the two probabilities. Probability of event 1 plus probability of event 2. The next, what will be the intersection probabilities, or the probability of event 1 intersection with event 2 becomes probability of event 1 multiplied with probability of event 2. This is when they are independent. Independent means if the probability or if the occurrence of the first event or the second event is not determined by the other event. This is called the independency between two events. Probability of event 1 intersection event 2 becomes probability of event 1 multiplied with probability of event 2 in that event 1 has already occurred. This is when the two events are dependent. That means the occurrence of one event affects or determines the occurrence of the other event. This is called conditional probability. Just conditional probability is when occurrence of one event depends the occurrence of another event. We say the second event is conditioned by the first event. So probability of event 1, given that event 2 has already occurred, becomes probability of event 1 intersection with event 2 divided by probability of event 2. And the same is similar for probability of event 2, given that event 1 has already occurred. It becomes probability of event 1 intersection with event 2 over probability of event 1.